Alrighty, people. Positive Paul Wilson Lindner Jr. here. Sunday, December 10th, 2023. And my presence on social media come next year will be sparse. I think for my particular situation, I've took it as far as I can take it, as far as trying to point out the peculiarities of some of these individuals, groups that exist within the cesspool known as social media. In my opinion, it's been there to mislead, confuse, disinform, and entertain. But the bottom line is, it's about the money. And the controllers of social media, which I'll change my term to the global military, financial, medical, industrial, satanic complex that controls the legacy media, controls all of social media. Their lackeys that run these social media platforms have their marching orders, and they are such. When an individual tries to use one of these platforms to adversely speak out against the military, industrial, satanic complex that has their dirty little mitts in every aspect of a human's life from cradle to grave now, and it's probably been that way all along. But what I understand, while they can censor us, they can use their social media frauds. Satan wants his own spokespeople up there to counter any message that goes against the, New World Order agenda, I suppose. They will promote these types all day long. But for the person that may be suffering, for the person that may be having their life destroyed, you cannot use these social media platforms. And furthermore, while some of the documentation that we have found over the years to be useful, we know that to have some type of real actionable intelligence to help us navigate this demonically driven brainwashing of specifically the American people, because I'm an American, I really can't speak for the other countries, but this dynamic is specifically, it exists within the Western civilization. And as I've stated before, Europe was destroyed a long time ago. These people over there, God bless them, the ones that can find peace through possibly the Creator, they have really suffered. And then once they got done destroying Europe, they immediately started operations within the Americas, specifically America and Canada. But we find a situation where the underdeveloped countries, they're never going to catch up intellectually on what some of these Europeans understand, what some of these Americans understand, these Canadians understand. Hollywood has been able to sensationalize everything that we know to be true, to turn it into a joke. But what I'm going to do now, because I can no longer be able to do these videos on this subject without being upset, without being able to lose my cool. I've had someone that I believe is he's been helping me out, and he understands what I'm trying to present while still struggling with some of it. He knows that I'm not one of these social media frauds. And while I don't have it all figured out, I do understand my situation. And in order for me to help somebody, I have to first help myself. And what I'm going to do right now is I am going to pose the question, why? Why does this occur on some individuals and not others? We know we are in a situation where prophecy it's moving fast and furious. And I will say one thing that I discovered today concerning someone on social media. And I'm going to let everybody go and check out his presentation over on Scott Clark's channel concerning a new timeline that makes sense as it relates to the so-called tribulation, time of trouble of Jacob, and the redemption of the true believers in Christ. You should check out this video, because I believe he has been able to make a breakthrough. Now, with that being said, we still need to be very mindful that social media still is not on the up and up. And the only thing we can truly do while we think globally, we must act locally. And if we can find individuals to fellowship with and confirm the work of others, and have our minds at peace with this information, while at the same time we know Christ, no matter how difficult it is to pick up your cross and follow him, he will never let it hinder us in trying to continue to exist within this backwards ass Babylonian satanic usury system of servitude, which in a post-World War II perspective we were all born into. These intellectual barbarians, these Machiavellian monsters that present themselves as leaders, present themselves as thoughtful, mindful, caring individuals that are trying to stamp out the evil of the world and create a peaceful existence. Who remembers the bumper stickers back in the 80s, coexist, with all the religious symbols? Now, the problem is about coexisting is we know a big part of the brainwashing is done through religion. I'm in a country that's predominantly Catholic. They will not touch prophecy. Unfortunately, the wonderful people, humble people that attend these churches, they're not getting the right information. And after 8 years of seriously attempting to spread the gospel, I've failed miserably. Less than a dozen people that I continue to try to get together with, they still ask questions from me because they understand. While again, I can't predict the future. I don't think any of us can at this point because it's changing so rapidly. But if we sit back and just look at what has occurred in the past 3 years post-COVID, has this caused a global awakening. Now, some of these social media frauds will tell you yes, and you know who they are. But let me stop now before I get out of hand. I want to know, you people that say every single individual that has the slit eye is a reptilian. Now, you've heard me state 1,000,000 times over, if a little child was put through satanic ritual abuse, would they display the attributes that, I mean, it's so, the amount of people that have tried to tackle this issue is just, man, I would even say it's less than 1,000 people over the course in a post 9/11 situation, that it's so small, and the rest of them don't want to hear about it, or it's been sensationalized by Hollywood. But if a young child had been put through that, would they display the attributes of these so-called reptilians, these shapeshifters, whatever they are, these fallen angels? Now, with that being said, let's look at this character right here. He presented himself on social media as a CIA whistleblower, claiming that these Machiavellian monsters, these intellectual barbarians, have been able to crack the code of the human mind, the human brain. They can access it just like a computer. They can program it like a computer. And they are able to modify an individual's behavior. In the case of MK Ultra, many aspects. The one overarching aspect would be take a good person and try to make them do evil. Take Jacob and make them act like Esau. And when you examine the situation with this individual and the company he kept, I'm slipping because these things are tough. As this relates to the targeted individual community, we know that there's been a lot of disinformation concerning this remote neural monitoring system, this R&M supercomputer. And up until this day, no one's has been able to take in any authority to task to make them come clean. And the reality is, yes, they've got something going on, but what can they really do? Because in order to have MK Ultra behavioral modification be effective, you need to spend a lot of time hands-on with the individual. And one of the ways of doing that was creating trauma, abuse, by creating alter personalities, which this goes back to the concentration camps apparently with the Germans. But now, these individuals, as far as my research can tell, starting around, I guess, 2011, they were, giving the notion that this is going on. But I want you all to not remember, but understand, most of these people are all gone. They no longer exist on social media. Now, there were individuals that took the material and they were able to download it from YouTube or Facebook. You see them put this stuff up on BitChute and maybe these other platforms. But if we have nothing new to offer and we're going back to the same old tired research that was done by apparently these people, in this case, this CIA whistleblower, but again, with the company they keep, and if you were talking to this individual and his eyeball went all screwy, turned into a slit, what would you do? Would you blink? Would you say, hey, there's something wrong with your eyeball? Would you, I guess, freak out? What would you do? Well, the problem is, folks, we've been reduced to actually discovering this only within the confines of the digital world, on television, in the movies, and on social media. But I am here to tell you that there were individuals in my age group and before, had they been left alone and had parents that didn't sell them out and hand them over to these Satanists and nurtured them, taught them, brought them to the Word of God, they would see these people up close in real life. And this is what's been occurring with me for at least the past 10 years. And that's why they unleashed holy hell on me. Because they knew whatever it is they did to me as a child was not going to be a lifelong thing. I would one day, it would wear off. And that's why these implants are in me. To somehow make sure they keep torturing me and making it very difficult for me to concentrate on anything, making it impossible to sleep. But see, I saw these targeted individuals for what they were. And now, believe it or not, I have not been involved with this for years now. I tell you, I looked at some of my older videos, and especially 2020, when I had my accident, I sound horrible. And I noticed that because I didn't really know what I'm doing, I don't have a video editor, I've only used this smashed up iPad and an iPhone, I didn't do the best job at what I was trying to present. But see, that's okay. I made an attempt. I stuck my neck out there, and boy, I tell you, if they could have chopped it off, they would have. And also remember, these people that tried to give me the business about being a so-called reptilian shapeshifter, well, they were really big failures, I can tell you that. And then what's even more funny, the ones that attempted it, YouTube made sure they took down these videos because, see, I don't exist, folks. I don't even exist. They don't want you to know about me. Now, this individual and his cohorts, the main one, Brian too, back then, boy, man, they were getting promoted left and right. You had this whole group of ninnies that were being attacked by directed energy. And I bet you something was going on, and maybe some of them were. But see, they parroted all the same thing. a mysterious government targeting program that till this day no one has been able to concretely establish through some authority figure. Not a whistleblower. What, Bill Binney? Okay? Who were some of the other so-called whistleblowers that, remember, they were allowed to maintain their bank accounts. They were allowed to keep their homes. They were able to walk freely within public and not be stalked and harassed. Why would that be? Now let's move on. Now, with these so-called targeted individuals that are all gone, who remembers this goofball Badger who looks like, Spike from Little Rascals, right? With the spot on his eyeball. Now, he was one of the ones that, hey, mysterious government targeting program all day long, and they would let him have his subscribers. Because remember, YouTube, their rule was if you had more than 1,000 subscribers, you could do a live feed, a live stream. And he was one of the ones that did that. And you saw all the ones that would coalesce around these live feeds. They would show up in the comment section. And I did videos on all this years ago. But this electromagnetic distortion, why does it occur on some individuals and not others? Well, if this is a hybrid, not a real human, meaning he has fallen DNA, his pappy, who knows what his situation was, but he's gone now. But again, why would this occur? Nephilim DNA mixed with human DNA? Because, see, humans have a conscience. When they know they're doing wrong, when they're maybe doing something evil, it eats them up inside. This has nothing to do with narcissism or a psychopath. It's what happens is if the individual does not maintain its humanity, his or her humanity, and can sit at the end of the day, hey, why did I do this? I need, this is not right. They can turn back. A hybrid cannot turn back. They were designed to be put here to, for one, pretend to be something they're not, and act like nonchalantly, just blasé. Oh yeah, targeted individual community. This program. Yeah, this program that these feds are running around hassling people. And no one's gotten anybody in the court legally. It will never happen because, again, you are trying to go up against something that you know nothing about. This demonically driven, spiritually guided force is beyond all human reason. So if a human can literally say and think that I've done wrong, I must stop this, I've got to change my ways, I must repent. A hybrid cannot do that. An Edomite cannot do that. Now, is this an Edomite, or is this a hybrid, or is this one of these reptilians using this holographic technology? Let's get one more real good look at this. Well, let's be nice. Okay. Now, we know that these Freemason freakazoids are involved. And what they do is they have all their little cute ways to convey who they are to their fellow other Freemasons? What's the main way we know that when you see the brickwork in the back, the masonry, that's one of the ways you can tell that you have a tear. You have a Freemason freakazoid tear Satanist on your hands. Now, the Blue Lodge boys don't know what they got into. All they know is they got preference for employment. They got preference for government contracts. And once you go that route, it's like a person that's been in poverty and got theirself out of poverty. They do not want to go back. Now, this goofball, Owen Benjamin, why are only these entertainers the ones smart enough that can tell the world about everything that's wrong with the world, but yet the average Joe Blow, he or she is not intellectually prepared or smart enough. You need some Hollywood hybrid hack actor to tell you about what the world's problems are and how to fix them. Why is it that the legacy media will only go to these people, and then if they do decide to put up a normal person, there's a selection process? Because if you go off script, they put you on the 6 o'clock news, and then all of a sudden you start going haywire and sideways like Positive Paul would. They cannot have that. Now, why? Why would this Sasquatch who calls himself Owen Benjamin be looking like that? Now, some of you people recently that I've been listening to, boy, I tell you, get your acts together and keep pulling down your channels and all that. I tell you, if you're scared, you're afraid, if all of a sudden you feel the backlash, but you do that, what you've done is you've dropped your cross, all right? You've dropped your cross, and then you've went back to wherever you came from and said, you know what? I can't do this because I'm a coward. I know what is being taken place, and I know that at least 2 generations of youth were sidelined from MK Ultra from 1946 right up to the early 70s. And then if you're born after 1980, well, you got a whole different thing going on. But there you go again. Now, why? Why again is Elon Musk? When you listen to Alex Jones, and I can barely, man, he's a chameleon. We know that. He changes his tune every time. Remember back in September? Oh, the TSA, all his insiders said, hey, the mask are coming back, everything, the social distancing. You know, they're going to implement all these draconian rules, keeping us locked up in our houses. Well, it never happened. The TSA, right? People have been flying on airplanes without masks. But boy, and then what'd he do? Once he was wrong, you don't mention it again. But what you do is you create a stir. You try to stir things up. All right? But see, when you're wrong, and look, they'll say, oh, well, hey, I admit that, I had something, maybe my insider, he's not on the inside like I thought. But again, this guy, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and Tucker Carlson are the only 3 men within the United States that are woke, okay? They're going against this satanic power structure that they are been a part of, and their billions and millions of dollars come from them. But yet, it's way beyond controlled opposition, people. Is this a hybrid, or is this something else? Please, figure this out, people, because I'm done. I'm going to upload this video. And that's it for me. You might get a Bible study out of me. These flyovers that are unabated went over today, but I chose not to film. All right? I might keep doing those. And the people and remember, when I'm speaking to social media and I sound angry, and maybe the way I speak, it sounds like I'm putting everybody in the line of fire. A very intelligent individual knows, and they've heard me say this, I am not talking to the ones that I know are good. I'm speaking to people that I don't really know. It'd be different if I was standing in front of you and I could look at you. So I have to assume that just people are scared. They know what's going on, but they're not going to create a YouTube channel and say, hey, look, we need to get on this and stamp out this disinformation. Now, this Neuralink, artificial intelligence, this will be Elon Musk's curse. If he continues down the road with this Neuralink, I will guarantee you everybody that gets involved will end up 6 feet under. Why do I have these implants in me? Who put these implants in me, people? How do you think they got there? And why does not anybody on social media talk about this? It's all, the Neuralink. Now, let's say someone that is deaf, dumb, and blind, would maybe this possibly be something that would help them exist in this very, it's a very dangerous world, people. Well, maybe that'd be the only reason to be beneficial. But see, they were doing something to these children in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, and I was one of them. And what this did was, it was their springboard into these goofballs and their, well, I guess trying to change the world to make it better. We'll see how this Neuralink goes, but you mark my words. Now, these people that are hobnobbing with these aliens, sitting down having lunch with these reptilians, these Palladians, these Andromedans, these Syrians, these Arcturans, telling them that, yeah, it's a big galaxy out there, and Earth is just a little tiny blue marble within all of it, and you're on an ant farm. You're all bugs on a windshield, and these aliens, they can't get too involved because we'll never learn from our mistakes because we're all a bunch of ninnies. But yet, they have a way. It's ascension. See, once you release the trauma, once you release all that trauma from childhood, from being raped, tortured, electrocuted, abused, and then stuffed with implants. See, once you release all that, you'll ascend and you'll be able to be with these aliens that are so much more intellectually evolved. Their higher consciousness, right? But yet, why are they looking like this? I know all about his near-death experience. And I think that does occur. And whatever it's about, I don't know nothing about near-death experience because it didn't happen to me. Excuse me. But why is this guy looking like Sasquatch's little brother? And remember, I'm repeating just about everything, but I got some fresh stuff coming. Let's hope this video continues and the iPhone doesn't shut off. But you see that. What is that about? Now, here's a real hybrid tear, Edomite freak operative that followed me back into Mexico. These little pissant stalkers. Look at his eyeball. Now, what do we know about these tears, these hybrids, this holographic technology? They touch themselves. It's something about touching the face to correct whatever's going haywire. I got in his face, yelling at him, and I'm not going to repeat what I was saying because I'm trying to keep it clean. But this creep, he ran away from me like a little girl because he was getting ready to expose something, I guess, about him, and that's why he's touching his face. And in there, look, they come in pairs, folks. The other stalker right behind him. Now, what's the difference between that lowlife Edomite tear stalker and this guy? Any guesses? Any guesses, people? Take a pick. Take your pick. Now, these people, again, the secret space program, fighting these galactic wars, this 20 and back. Do you know how complicated that would be if people are time traveling all over the place, these super soldiers? Which, man, see, I'm going to slow down, regain my composure. They got all this inside information that, oh yeah, these aliens, don't worry, they're coming. This UFO disclosure. Well, it's pretty obvious Congress is crapping their drawers because some of us are having an effect on their ability to continue to hide and conceal and cover what they're up to. Now, why would this happen? This Frankenstein. Remember what I said. Everything else is okay in the video except the tear. What is that about? Now, if you're standing there having a conversation while you're at lunch and all of a sudden one of his eyeballs go haywire, what are you going to do? You going to tell him about it and say, oh man, hey, is your eye okay? Or are you going to freak out? You're going to get up and run out of the restaurant like a little girl because you don't even understand what the heck you just witnessed. Dr. Zhivago. See, this guy's one of the most egregious ones. He knows who I am. Don't you? Again, numbnuts, right? They're all the same, people. They're all the same. Oh, R&M supercomputer. Oh, the tower, satellite, mobile platform routes the signal to the target. We know about Alex. We've seen this. Now, what's the difference between Field Marshal Jodl after he signed the treaty on May 7th, 1945, between these other goofballs? What's the difference? I don't think you'll ever see him shape-shifting, but boy, you look at them Jeepers Peepers, where is it, Jeepers Creepers? Where'd you get them peepers, man? Come on. Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Look at that. His eyelids are closed, but they're coming through because the holographic technology is not 100% foolproof. Well, I tell you there, Mr. Jodl, what you did is you confirmed to us people now, 70 years later, of what we've been dealing with. Oh no, there they are, the fun bunch. Georgie Porgy, Uncle Carl, and Billy Graham. The only one that's missing is Kissinger. Oh, thank the Lord. You don't even know what these people had. I'm going to continue. I'm going to shut up. I got to shut up, people. I can't do this anymore. Now, what they do now, all right, this is crazy. What they do now, because the people that have been trying to present this and raise awareness, they've got these shapeshifter channels, but they're mainstream with millions of subscribers, and they use all our information